Was your father supportive at all, or was he like, why don't you become a preacher? Or
Yeah, well, first of all, he wanted me to be a preacher.
right.
And you can imagine when I got to do the preacher and Coming to America, I wished my dad was here, because
Was that an impression of your father? Is that an impression of your father?
A little bit. A little bit is him, and a little bit is this preacher in Chicago that I saw. And this guy, he would take one word and do a whole sermon. As a matter of fact, I stole the whole sermon because he would say, today my sermon is on the word joy. And for an hour, he'd talk about joy, and he'd get to the end, I got joy in my leg, I got joy in my soul, I got joy, and he would go off, and I actually used the word joy.
Do you feel joy? Say joy. Joy.
And he would put songs, if loving the Lord is wrong, I don't want to be right, and that kind of stuff. And my dad would do that because he would try to reach the kids and be aware of pop culture so he could say something in this sermon that would get them,
Yeah. And there's a certain cadence with those preachers that it's that breathing thing. It's like, you do it. You do it naturally. I can't do it.
Everybody in my family is a preacher. So like I have ladies, my aunt is a preacher. My uncle, I have uncles, and it's the family business, Howard.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Yes. And I have an uncle who his hook is, he'll do this thing. The Lord came down and walked on and he put that in the middle of everything. And said, down the road, he said, Lord, Lord. And, I don't know what the thing is, but he does it. And
Did you ever sit down with him and go, what the fuck is the thing? It's the music. Yeah,
my dad would do this thing where he'd say, Moses came down the mountain. And I was like, that's some Al Green shit you're doing right there. But he would do things like that would blow me away. And the ladies, my dad, the ladies would go crazy in the church. Reverend Hall, preaching.
Did your father get to see your success did you get to say, hey, look at me now?
He had gotten to see me on TV as a magician once. Because when I was little, they flew me to New York to do a show called Soul. And I think they just did a documentary on that show. This gentleman who had a show in New York, and they flew me there to do magic. And my dad got to announce at the end of church one Sunday, watch my son tonight. He'll be doing magic on television. And that was kind of cool.